first mighty Liathach in the beautiful region of Torridon.
As it is written, it is pronounced Liathach, but I know that old native Gaelic speakers from Torridon sometimes pronounce it Liathach, where the T in the middle should be a G.
Well, we're here in Torridon to climb one of Scotland's most picturesque and photogenic mountains, Liathach. Yes, that's the mountain that you always see reflected in Loch Clare behind me on the cover of those calendars you get from the grocer at Christmas. Liathach, it will say, in snowy winter's garb, or Liathach, brushed by the late evening sunshine. Where is it? But today, of course, it's Liathach in bogging, miserable drizzle. However, we're still going to climb it with a song in our heart, because those nice men and women at the Met Office assure us all this cloud will be lifting by lunchtime and we should get some sort of a view. Now, Liathach is one of three very exciting mountains in the Torridon region, the other two being Ben Alligan and Ben A. Liathach itself is two Munros joined by a rather scary ridge, the highest of the two peaks being 3,456 feet. We have quite a steep ascent to get onto the ridge. Liathach means the grey one. It's no relation, we just look a bit similar today. And since it's so wet and unpleasant, I think we'd probably better start. Now, it's quite reassuring on such a steep ascent to have a well-trodden path. And this one sticks close to a gorge with a dramatic tumbling burn. Well, the rather intimidating thing about Liathach is the way it presents this rather impenetrable fortress of rock behind me. However, there's a way up it. It ingeniously takes us over that crest of rock and we get right up on top of the ridge. The way it's looking today, though, I wouldn't be surprised if there's pterodactyls circling up there. Well, all right, the Met Office were right. It's time to say goodbye to Mr. Cagoule, because we've burst up through the cloud into clearer air and we're getting a fantastic view across to the ocean and also to Ben A. Strange, it only has one Munro, and yet the ridge is about twice as long as Liathach. Well, it's exaggerating a bit, but it's certainly longer. And there are two here. Why should this be? I don't know. I didn't make up the tables. It's very busy up here today. We've been passed by a party of small school children, which is rather demoralising. So even though that top might well be like Grange Hill, we're still going for it. It's in cloud at the moment, but we have faith. Well, we've made it to the top of the first Munro, Spidean and Choire Lèith. It's taken us 2¼ hours and the views are staggeringly beautiful. And the views you'll enjoy for the entire ridge walk, every rise providing a new and more exciting perspective on this magnificent mountain. The only daunting prospect is that lying between you and the next Munro is a ridge that is definitely not for the faint-hearted. Now, if you like to keep your hands in your pockets when climbing Munros, then perhaps Liathach is not the one for you. No matter which route you take along the ridge, you're going to have to use those hands and scramble at some point. But on a clear day, it's fantastically good fun. In poor conditions, however, this is what separates the casual hill walker from the mountaineer. It may look simple in sunshine, but one false step on an icy, gale-swept day could spell disaster. All along the ridge you'll discover dramatic jutting pieces of rock, and although you may not feel like a detour with such a huge walk still stretching before you, they provide a quite incredible view of the wild lands rolling away behind Liathach. For the geologists amongst you, Liathach is made up of quartzite scree on top of Torridonian sandstone, which is reputed to be amongst the oldest rock in the world, 1,000 million years old in fact. Just imagine something older than a Radio 1 DJ. There's a choice between the bypass path or the route along the rocky crest of the ridge, but since the path cuts into steep, slippery, grassy banks, make your choice based on weather conditions and whether or not you can handle the exposure of airy rock scrambling. Whichever route you choose, it will take your breath away. Well, this is us just coming up to the last of the Amphicerin and Pinnacles. That's all that lies between us and the relative safety of the second and last Munro. And we've not been chickens this time, we've stuck exactly to the top of the ridge, because quite frankly the path that bypasses it is as vertigo-inducing and as exposed as the ridge has been, so I think you're probably safer clinging to the rock. This is the first time I've actually done these Munros with the ridge between them and Liathach, and I would not recommend it as a first Munro. It's scary, it's very dangerous, and you do need a bit of mountaineering experience. But after the Pinnacles, you can relax again. There's no more scrambling or whimpering with fear, just a final short pull up to the last Munro, and views you will never forget. Started this climb today, it was hardly worth getting out of the car, the weather was so miserable, but now look at it. So always listen to the weather forecast or you could waste a glorious day like this one. We're on the last Munro, it's Mullach and Rathain, 3,358 feet, and because we've done this ridge walk east to west, we're now enjoying the late evening sun sparkling behind me on Loch Torridon. You can also see the hills of Skye beyond. And this is a lovely mountain, Ben Alligin. It's a bit dark just now. I did that in winter and it was superb. It has the famous horns of Alligin. Come this way, let me show you more. That's the coastline going up past Badachro and Gairloch. You can just make out Loch Muriel behind me. And if you come further round, you can see Sliach and Chelach possibly poking through there. Now you get a superb view of the whole Ben A ridge. And you can also see where we've just been. Ta-da! Liathach in all its glory. Beyond that, Achnashin and the hills of Loch Carron. Round here on the other side of Loch Torridon, falling off as I go, is Ben Damp. It's a lovely little mountain. It's not a Munro, but well worth doing. Well, we're just going to drop down a gully now, not literally obviously, but walking and taking great care, and emerge beside the youth hostel. It's been a fantastic day. The walk's not over obviously, coming down is sometimes harder than going up, but it's blustery, it's cold, and I'm looking forward to my tea.